Hey, it's Matt Webley here. Hope you're doing all right. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to build a SaaS for $100 a month or less using AI. So how to build SaaS for $100 or less. Now, I've made over $12 million in my spare time selling software as a service, subscription-based, simple software apps that solve a problem for a very particular type of customer. Recurring income, passive income, faceless. I've made over $12 million doing that with human devs that have cost me a small fortune, albeit I've not been hiring American devs. We do have British devs, English devs, should I say. We do also have like Ukrainian devs. We have Turkish devs. We have devs from all around the world, right? You know, but they're still, even though they're all around the world, you're still looking to pay them maybe 40 grand, 50 grand a year, 40, 50 grand a year for a relatively cheap human dev, okay? This is all my kit's falling to bits, my apologies. I'm not editing anything, so if you're seeing things flash and shake and stuff, it's because it's one edit. If I had to edit my videos on my balcony here in Dubai, I wouldn't make the videos. So, upside, you get a video from somebody that's got some experience in the game and teaches you for free. Downside is, I don't do no editing, I don't do no thumbnails. If I had to do any of that, I wouldn't do it. So you just have to take it raw and ready. And my cameras, my lights kind of falling down. I'm now rambling about random nonsense. Like the screensaver came on my Mac, and I only wanted it up so I could see what the bloody title of this video is to remind me. How to build SaaS for under $100 per month with AI. So let's just shut up. You know what I am. You know what I do. I sit here on my balcony in Dubai, having made millions of dollars in the SaaS space. I'm going to tell you how to do that now without hiring coders using AI. So first of all, you're going to need an AI tech stack, right, to build a SaaS for less than $100. Now, there's lots of tools out there, Lovable, Cursor, Replit, etc., etc. There's lots of AI tools out there now that are just built specifically to change your natural language, so you speak to it in normal language, do this, do that. You don't need to know any coding whatsoever, and it writes all the code for you. And if you're skeptical as to the power of it, then honestly, like, you need to actually give it a blast, because it will blow you away. You don't need any tech skills, you don't need any AI skills. The way I'm going to describe it in this video, anybody can do this, right? Not anybody can build a SaaS business, that's a different skill set, but anybody can now build a SaaS app. What I help people do is build a SaaS business, okay? So there's a slight difference, but you need a SaaS app to start a SaaS business, right? Some people would argue you don't want to build the app first. Look, I would argue, yeah, all right, get product validation, maybe build an audience, maybe get access to audiences and stuff before pre-AI. But now, honestly, you could spend 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe 8 weeks probably, if you're building a monster app with AI, no technical knowledge, no coding knowledge, 4 to 8 weeks, let's say, just for the sake of an argument. How long's a piece of string? Some people are going at it constantly. Other people do it 5 minutes a day, whatever. But you're talking maybe a few weeks, a couple of months at most. Easy, enjoyable, talking to the AI agent. It builds the app, and then you've got something you can sell. Now, I recommend you use Replit. If you're a non-code, non-technical person, Replit is the right place to start. If you're already a coder, you've got coding experience, you're probably going to want to use something like Cursor, because you're probably going to already understand server deployment and different bits and bobs that Cursor, you could lean into Cursor quite well as kind of a technical founder, if you like. So if you've got coding experience, I'd probably start with something like Cursor. If you are like me, that just wants to build a business and you're not interested in learning coding or coding architecture or anything about security or server deployment, if you essentially want the AI to do all of the smart stuff whilst you just focus on building an app and then building a business, then I highly recommend Replit, right? Replit is an all-in-one AI agent that's super easy to use, and it does everything for you. So if you want to, whatever you want to build, you start with a prompt. A prompt is just talking to the AI agent in natural language. It doesn't have to be in a specific format. It doesn't have to be super clever. It can be, I want to build a doggy training app. Done. And then just put that into Replit. It's not the best way to start, but you could just do that, and then it will take you through the process, right? Now, when I say it will take you through the process, you will be using Replit agent, and then when you deploy it, you just click publish in Replit, and it deploys it or puts it out onto the internet on Replit's own servers. So it takes care of everything: Replit database, Replit authorization, Replit security checking, Replit agent coding. Replit does everything, which is why I think it's really good for non-technical founders. Now, don't foolishly assume that just because it's suitable for a non-techie person that it's somehow not powerful. It's extremely powerful. And there's a way to modify it to make it even better, right? And I'm gonna get to that in this video. So you start off by getting access to Replit. If you want all the links for this stuff, it's down below, right? But you start off getting access to Replit. It's about $25 a month. Now, when we first started using Replit, it was disgustingly cheap. It has become expensive. Now, I was like, look, I've been used to using human devs. Whatever you're having to pay for AI, it's cheap, it's well worth it. And then as the costs have climbed, I've finally come around to the fact that even when I'm vibe coding now, I don't even use Replit agent. I do a little bit, but before I was using it fully. But now what we do is we plug Claude Code into Replit, right? So Claude Code, I would argue, is the best, or definitely one of the best AI coding LLMs, whatever you want to call it. So it's probably the best at coding right now. But out of the box, currently, Claude's not gonna deploy it to the server. It's not gonna handhold you through it all in the way that Replit will. So imagine Replit is a wrapper around what you do that takes away all of the need for technical ability. So it's gonna take away your need to understand servers or databases or authorization and all of the technical stuff that you don't understand right now as a non-technical founder. It takes care of it, all of it. So imagine it's like a wrapper that you're going to put around your project, and some people will use the actual Replit agent itself to build the project as well, but that gets really expensive. So when I first started, it was cheap. Now it's actually really expensive. You can do one kind of prompt and maybe it churns away for a few minutes or whatever, like 15 minutes or something, and then you look and you've spent $8. Now, in comparison to how fast you can develop and how expensive human devs were pre-AI, it's still cheap. But costs can rack up. You're looking at maybe, let's say you were using it constantly, and again, how long's a piece of string? Don't quote me on the exacts, but let's say, for example, you was coding all day, every day for a month, 2 months using Replit agent, you're gonna spend thousands of dollars in agent fees. Now, you're gonna save tons of time because that same project using humans pre-AI might have took you 2 years and 200 grand. So, but it might take you 2 months with Replit agent, or 1-2 months, something like that. But you're gonna pay a few $1,000s for that, probably. Again, it depends what you're building. It's a variable fee. So the more you use the agent, the more it costs, right? So how do I say you can build it for less than $100 a month? Well, what you do is you take a Claude Code subscription, which is, you can get a Claude Code subscription for about $25 a month, $25 a month. I forget the prices because they've got yearly pricing, they've got annual pricing, and all these AI blooming bots seem to be around $25 a month. They seem to have found that price point to be mass market acceptable. Gladys down the road will get a ChatGPT subscription for $20 a month. even though she's not making money with it, she's not doing anything, she's using it as like Google 2.0, and maybe, you know, doing some funny little stuff like making a little poem for her mates down at bingo. She's going to do stuff like that with it, but she don't mind $20 a month. That is mass market. You can get 1 billion people to give you $20 a month. So all of these AI companies seem to be settling around that point, right? But like I say, usage fees have been introduced in Replit. So as you use the agent, the costs can rocket, right? So what you're going to give up by not just using Replit agent is a little bit of ease of use, a little bit of the smoothness of the integration. It's going to be a little bit clunkier, right? But when I say a little bit clunkier, it's not insurmountable. 99.9% of people are capable of using Claude Code and putting it in Replit as a wrapper. So this is what you do. You get your Replit subscription and you get your Claude Code subscription. Then what you do is you follow a few steps, and I've actually got a video on the channel. It's like a 2-minute video, 2-3-minute video I did that shows you how to put Claude Code into Replit. You do a few things. You have to copy and paste the prompt that I share with you on that video. You copy and paste the prompt into Replit shell. It loads Claude Code into Replit, and then you drag the agent window away. So Replit agent window, you collapse it so you can't see it no more, and you have a preview pane, which is where you see what you're building in Replit, and then Claude Code sits next to the preview pane. So imagine you've got, it's like you're in Replit, but instead of using Replit agent on one side and talking to the agent and it doing things that you then see in the preview pane, you're talking to Claude Code instead. So you're plugging Claude Code into Replit. This is super powerful because what this does is it basically reduces your costs to next to nothing. A $20, $25 a month Claude subscription and a $20, $25 a month Replit subscription should be all you need. Now, if you become a power user and you're proper going for it, you're probably going to upgrade your Claude Code subscription, but it still comes in at less than $100-ish for both of them. Don't quote me on exact numbers because I forget all the prices, but we're not talking $1,000. We're definitely not talking hundreds of dollars. We're talking about $100 or less. And that's if you're a power user. Essentially, on the lowest plan on Claude Code, you're going to hit cooldowns in Claude Code where it says you're going to have to wait a little bit before you carry on. And it's very intensive. It's not like write me an email or write me a blog post where it just goes for it, then it's done. Imagine like boiling a kettle, right? Boiling a kettle to make a cup of tea. It takes a few minutes. It's intense. If you look at your electricity meter going round, it's going to be spinning, or digitally, it's going to be going up really fast. But it's warm in a couple of minutes. You've got hot water in a couple of minutes. Now compare that to a hot tub. Do you call it a hot tub? A spa? What do Americans call it? I try and talk American English when I can. Spa? Jacuzzi? Whatever they are. Now imagine that. That's like a kettle, but it takes maybe 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours to heat up. So your electricity meter is going crazy to initially warm the hot tub up, and then once it's up to temperature, it just ticks over. It's kind of similar. So using ChatGPT to write you an email is like intensive for about 10 seconds. Whereas Claude Code into Replit is very intensive. You could put one prompt into Claude Code within Replit and it could be working for 10, 15 minutes. But it's working hard for 10, 15 minutes. So if you're doing that all day, every day, because you're essentially heating up the hot tub, you're not heating up a kettle, you're heating up more water. Building SaaS takes a lot of AI brain power, if you like, compared to writing a simple email, which takes very little these days, right? So essentially they go, oh, you're using this a bit much. This is costing us a lot of money, so you need to cool down. So then for your Claude Code subscription, what I would advise you do is you start on the $20, $25 a month plan and work with it. Because if you're doing 10 minutes, half an hour, maybe even 2 or 3 hours a day, maybe even 4 or 5 hours a day, you'll probably get away with that low-priced Claude Code subscription. So actually your build costs are probably going to be less than $50 a month or thereabouts, $50 a month, right? Whereas if you proper like really like heating the kettle up, but it's a hot tub kettle, then you're going to be burning through it. So you have to just upgrade your subscription. Now, I've not heard of anybody hitting cooldowns on that secondary subscription. Now, I know that Claude has adjusted the pricing model a little bit because people are really burning through it. So I think you get less. But as far as I'm aware from my clients and my mentees, my students, that actually I help people build AI SaaS businesses. But from those people, I've not heard anybody hitting cooldowns on that secondary plan. So what I'm saying is either $25 for Replit or whatever, $20, $25, whatever it is, and $25 for Claude, or $25 for Replit and $75 or $90 or whatever it is for Claude. So less than about $100 a month-ish, 100%, you're going to be able to build your SaaS app. Bear in mind, you'd be paying human devs maybe $300 to $500 a day, and you're probably going to need 2 of them, and they're going to work slower, they're going to be more difficult to work with, they're not going to listen, they're going to go off piste and do their own things, and it's a nightmare. So what I'm saying is, Replit gives you the flexibility, and you can still use the agent within Replit. So sometimes Claude code will hit a wall. It was happening to me yesterday. I'm coding an app, and for some reason your app has crashed, right? So when you're using Claude code and Replit, first thing you might do is just say you just say to Claude code within Replit, you'd say, what's going on? My app's crashed, figure out what's wrong. Not in those words, but that's essentially what you do. You just ask it, why is it crashed? Get it restarted. And many times it will just do it. It'll just go, oh yeah, it's just this. And I've restarted the server and it's working out, boom. And you're up and running again, right? But then sometimes like we're still crashed. And then you go to Replit, you press the stop button and you press the play button, which essentially reboots it. And sometimes it's still crashed. So then your next stage might be, okay, the crash error message that comes up in your preview pane, I'm going to copy and paste that into Claude and say, this is what's happened, Claude. Can you figure it out? And then maybe it figures it out, maybe it doesn't. So this doesn't happen very often, but occasionally it does. So then you're like, okay, you're stuck. So you've tried everything with Claude code to get your app back online. You don't know what's wrong. It's just not working anymore. And this doesn't happen when you're deployed. You've not got a super buggy software. You've actually got a way cleaner software than I've ever seen with human devs, right? So don't worry about it. Like this is not something you can't do. Whoever you are, you can do this. You can build an app and you can keep it online and it's good, right? And it's bug-free or relatively bug-free. And you can fix bugs in 5 minutes with a single prompt, right? So you've been through that 3-step process, told Claude what's wrong, fix it. It hasn't fixed it. And that process that I just talked about, you've tried copying and pasting stuff from the console or from the error message and saying, Claude, this is wrong, still not fixed it. Restarted server, still not fixed it. What do you do next? There's a little button that says debug with agent that's in the Replit agent. You click that and 99 times out of 100, that's it. That button will fix it. Well, that uses Replit agent. So my point is, for 99% of the build, you're using Claude code with a fixed subscription, but occasionally you're going to need a little bit of extra, help every now and again. Like I say, debug with agent. So you can just drag that Replit pane open again with the agent in it. You can talk to the agent. So then and it's got autonomous testing within the Replit agent as well. So basically you've got double power. You've got the power of Replit agent and the power of Claude code, which is the best AI coding agent on the planet right now. I think it's changing daily, so don't quote me on that. But right now, as far as I'm aware, it's as good as it gets. So you've got as good as it gets with Claude code and a fixed price subscription, but you've still got the flexibility of Replit all in one kind of thing. And as a backup plan, you can debug with that agent, or you can do autonomous testing, and you could do all kinds of things with Replit. So actually, you've got the entire tech stack covered with using AI, security, deployment, the build, everything between those two low-priced apps. It collapses the agent cost to next to nothing, so you might just get away with $20, $25 a month with Replit, but you've still got the flexibility for when you need it. So you might debug with agent 80 cents later, $1.50 later, of agent costs, you're up and running. And it comes off that $25. So it's not like you're paying $25 and then there's more for the agent. It comes out of the $25. So essentially, it's a very, 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 very cost-effective way of using AI to build a software as a service app and business. And then you get all the different benefits. Claude's an amazing copywriter. It's also amazing at helping you with ideas, and you can talk to Claude Code within Replit and say, I'm thinking about adding this feature, but I'm worried about this. What do you think? Or come up with some options, and it'll say, these 3 options are what I think, and this is my recommended option. And you go, yeah, do option 2. Boom. And it goes and does it. So it's like you can bounce off the LLMs or the AI agents. You can bounce off them. You can ask them questions. You can ask them questions about your app. You can get them to write copy. You can get them to think of ideas. Honestly, the process is fun, it's enjoyable, and it's really cheap if you follow the steps, what I've said. You've got maximum flexibility. You're not worrying about servers and hosting and this and that and technical stuff. It's all included in those two, essentially those 2 AI agents combined is like power users, and it's less than $100 a month. It could be less than 50 or 50-ish dollars a month. So that's it. Hopefully this helps somebody. If you're interested in building an AI SaaS business, because as you know, it's really easy now for anybody to build AI SaaS. If you're looking to build an AI SaaS business, that's a little bit more complicated. You're going to need help. I've been selling online for about 26 years. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. For our American friends, that means I'm just highly experienced at selling stuff online in lots of different niches, lots of different markets, lots of different business models, and I've got a relatively high level skill set that I can help apply to what you want to do, even if you've got no ideas. We can jump on a call and I can chat about whether you'd be a good fit for my program, and if you are, I'll even help you come up with an idea, click by click, step by step, do this, do that, from going from no idea, no tech skills, no AI knowledge, don't know what you're doing, you just want to make an income, to I have an income, I'm making passive, faceless, remote income. I can run this from a balcony in Dubai like Matt does. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped somebody. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and if you've got any questions, I read all the comments and I might even make a video on whatever your question is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.